I'm RG Skadberg, attorney with CCSK Law. In Indiana, I try to break this down into as simple terms as I can. For decision making, we have basically two tracks. Those things associated with healthcare and those things associated with pretty much everything else: property, finance, planning, things of that nature. Healthcare is going to be dealt with in a healthcare power of attorney or a appointment of a healthcare rep. That's really our guiding law in Indiana. The other thing that most people have heard of, but maybe not necessarily understand what it applies to, is a general durable power of attorney. So in Indiana, our powers of attorney laws allow us to specifically identify things that can be appointed to someone. The proper terms would be principal and agent, or attorney in fact is the person who's the actor. There are 20 specific things that are defined in our statute. Now, the thing to understand is the powers of attorney laws are about as volatile as an area of the law in this kind of planning law. Trust laws don't change a lot, will laws don't change a lot, but powers of attorney, as the world gets more complicated, the world wants to see more specific designation of authority. So our general durable power of attorney is a very broad application of those statute authority granting options. Could be banking, could be real estate, might be talking to a financial advisor, could be talking to a pension or a life insurance, and that's how we start to see things splinter. At some point in the past, you could appoint somebody with the authority to do banking, and it was kind of an umbrella for finance. Now you have 7 or 8 different ways to cut that finance thing down so that people have to have specific recognized authority to do a beneficiary change, to maybe write a check or access a safe deposit box. So it's important to have updated general durable powers of attorney. Now, the general durable, sort of its counterpart, would be a limited power of attorney. If you've bought a car recently, a lot of times the car dealer will have you do a limited power of attorney so they can file your registration. It's a very specific aspect of the power of attorney code that says this person for this limited period of time can do this thing. General durable is much more broad. There are a couple of different ways that you can put them in place to step in for you, but you'll want to appoint someone that you trust to take care of you. The person you appoint, that principal or attorney in fact, does not have the unilateral authority to just go do what that person wants to do. They are, in the eyes of the law, standing in your shoes and acting in your best interest. It is a fiduciary responsibility. We hear the word fiduciary being thrown a lot right now, but basically that means I have a calling higher than myself, and my interest is not about me, it's about the person who has granted me this authority. So in this case, if I was an attorney in fact or an agent on behalf of somebody, I can't go to the bank and take their money and go on vacation. Now, unless that person said that would make them happy. That's probably not the case. But in reality, I like the power of attorney to be in place and in force ahead of time, because again, there is a point where a person can't sign a document, and if we don't have it in place, then we end up having to go through a court process to get to appoint somebody to do these things. And that's drawn out. It's in the public square. It's an expensive process. And this is a much more efficient way to have the person be in charge during the period of time when the person can be in charge and say, here's who I want to be able to step in for me. A lot of times it's your spouse. A lot of times it's a trusted child. And you can name people to back up those people if they can't be there for you. There are a number of different ways you can activate it. There's a thing out there called a springing power of attorney that can be only triggered if you have an illness that affects your ability to do these things, or it's active when it's signed. It is an important document. As I tell my clients and I tell people when I have the opportunity to speak to folks, the world is getting more complex, not less. The need for clear documentation is more important than it has been in the past. There's no more sort of wink and nod, hey, you know me at the bank relationships. You know my child, that child can step in. It's very important that you spend some time, get quality powers of attorney in place. And if it's been a while since you've done your powers of attorney, it's probably a good idea to revisit those things because the law has changed. And even beyond the law, there are things that we can put in the power of attorney to grant authority for that person to step in. For example, just real quickly, our state statute, power of attorney statute, doesn't have an assignment to allow someone to take care of your taxes. So if you're laid up in the hospital or suddenly can't get out and don't have the capacity to take care of your taxes, we want to make sure that we add that to the power of attorney so someone can sign, talk to the people about your taxes and get those things taken care of, because the government really doesn't give you a vacation from your taxes just because you can't take care of them yourself. So we can look at the circumstances that we see happening in life, we can build those into a power of attorney, we'll explain what they are, and you have total control about what authority you grant to whom to take care of those things when they come up. Thanks for visiting. I hope you found this information helpful. If you'd like to talk about your circumstances, please visit our website, ccskaw.com, or give us a call, 219-230-3600.